adjust your dial. This is the Snyder cut of Pop Cult Parent, so everything's in slow motion. We have a great show for you tonight, and we're going to speed it up. It's good to see y'all. Good to be here. We got the crew here. If you haven't guessed, we are talking about the greatest... I don't know about greatest. I'll take that back. We're talking about a very interesting moment in comic and movie history. We're going to talk about the Snyder Cut released this week on HBO Max. I am one of your hosts, Mark Clyde Jones, and I'm here always with my brothers in arms. Fellas, why don't you introduce yourselves?
This is Niels RY, a.k.a. Full Hours Long.
And this is Shannon, a.k.a. Black Heroes Matter.
This is Esco Coleon, a.k.a. Miren un montón peles lacos. What's goody?
If that new voice, you know, like, who is that? Is there another parent to Pop Cult Parent? Well, he's not a parent, but I like to think that he's a father to most, at least an uncle. You know, Esco, you know, we got some history. We had a podcast together back in the day called Pod and Fool.
Yeah.
It was a hip hop podcast, and we talked about hip hop music. I'm glad to have you here today. We have Esco here today because he is a professional DCEU apologist. He will be apologizing for all shortcomings of the DCEU tonight, and it's going to be a great debate, great fun. But no. We're glad you're here. Esco is very knowledgeable in DC and DCEU. It's fair to say you are a fan of these movies and the Snyder directed movies, right?
To say the least, yes.
Yeah. I'm going to try to keep it pretty objective tonight, and I will not take any more bashes at you unless, you know, you just lay them out there, and I can't help but take the low hanging fruit.
Nope. I got to interject. Look, Mark, I appreciate you being super PC, but as someone who knows both PC. These men, they have had some battles, and I mean epic battles, like Zack Snyder type battles in regards to the DCEU. And I have been on both sides of the battle. So I am thoroughly excited about the conversation we're going to be having today. Esco, you are arguably one of the biggest DCEU fans here, so I'm thoroughly excited to see your to have your perspective when we talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Real quick, you know how bad it is. It gets so bad that I told Esco one time that he would he would make me feel bad because I would get Instagram notifications that I got an Instagram message, but it would always be this guy sending me some type of Snyder news or DCEU meme or Marvel MCU sucks me. And so like I'm like, dude, like I don't even like get excited no more. I'm like, it's just Esco fucking with me. So like I don't even like human interaction doesn't even like jazz me up anymore because I just think it's Esco like messing with me.
But thanks to me, you do know the news as soon as it comes out.
Oh yeah, all the very important Snyder Cut news. I knew all of it.
I'm pretty sure
important.
I'm pretty sure you go up to your friends and like, hey, you know what I heard today? Snyder Cut's coming out.
No, because you know I have a life and kids, and you know I don't hate myself. Let's get to it.
Yeah. But hey, I'm just over here with my popcorn, just enjoying it.
But this man texts me that he hates me for the fact that I tell him Justice League came out on HBO Max.
What are you talking about?
When Justice League the cartoon came out, and you said I ruined your whole day.
No, okay. Because as Nels, you know, Shannon, I don't know if you're a fan, but the Justice League cartoon is one of the greatest things to ever hit a screen. And I was very busy that day. I had a lot going on. And then Esco's like, hey, this is on HBO Max. And I was like, I hate you. He's like, why? Because I got shit to do today. And you just made my life a lot harder.
That's real.
All right. That's why I said I hate you. But, you know, I digress. We'll get into it. It's fun jab. Fun jab. But anyway.
we're gonna go off tangent, but I'm not gonna do that right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it.
Let's get into it, man. We got a lot. We got a 4-hour thing to talk about. So, Nels, why don't you get us going?
God forbid, Endgame is 3 something, but 4. Oh, but yeah, go ahead. I'm
so,
sorry. But I digress.
like we do with all things pop cult pan related, I'm going to give a little bit of history about Zack Snyder's Justice League and the DCEU in general. So, a little bit about Zack Snyder. If you do not know Zack Snyder, he is a film director. He's made movies like 300, Man of Steel, Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen, and last but not least, Mark's favorite movie of all time, Legends of the Guardians. The Owl movie.
Most underrated movie by this man. So underrated.
And so by now, most folks know, it's pretty well known, the history and the story behind Zack Snyder and the Justice League. So Zack Snyder was running, he had filmed everything for the Justice League, and he was in post-production when unfortunately Autumn, his daughter, died by suicide. And so he had to exit the movie, take care of home, take care of family, take care of himself. And so this was a couple years ago. So recent for some, but not for others. But y'all may not remember what was going down because Warner Brothers was in an interesting spot. Batman v Superman had just came out, and it wasn't that good to most. And Suicide Squad came out, and it wasn't that good. And at the time, Justice League or Warner Brothers had just given the keys to the DCEU to Zack Snyder. And the last 2 movies that were in the DCEU weren't that good. And so they were like, yo, what are we going to do? Because the guy that we just trusted the universe in is about to make, at that time, it was believed to be the biggest superhero movie ever. And we don't really trust him. So what did and I should note, this is when the drama ensued. And if you know Warner Brothers, you know that they are not good when it comes with drama. They usually make the bad decision when it comes with drama. And so what did Warner Brothers do? They did any logical decision that a business would do and not one that cares about actually making a good film. They were like, hey, let's hire Josh Whedon. The guy who made one of the greatest superhero tag team movies ever, The Avengers.
And at the time, I think the most profitable one.
Oh yeah,
at
the
time.
It made a Billy. It made a Billy. And so Warner Brothers was like, great, you just made a Billy with The Avengers. Now do the same thing, but with the big guns. Because if we want to keep it a buck, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Captain America ain't got nothing on Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Like,
yeah, let's be clear. They don't. They don't. I think any day DC's B-listers are maybe better than a lot of Marvel's A-listers.
Any comic book fan would not argue with that point. Like, it is a fact. The greatest superhero team ever is the Justice League. Yeah. And so you're like, yo, you made a Billy with the Avengers? What you gonna do with the Justice League? And so Josh signed up for it, and he saw what Zack had made and said, nah, I'm gonna make it lighter. I'm gonna add some jokes. I'm gonna do a whole bunch of reshoots, and I'm not gonna mention Henry Cavill and the mustache.
I'm going to up the saturation. Going to put some color in this.
Also, he said, I'm going to sprinkle Avengers in here. Just a little bit. It's the winning formula. It's the winning formula. No one's going to notice. Little right here, right there.
And we noticed. And what we got was a mediocre movie made from the greatest superhero team ever.
Heartbreaking. Just heartbreaking.
A mediocre movie. And since then, Zack was like, all Zack has been doing for the past 3 or so years, Zack Snyder has been doing is saying, I'm just saying, if y'all waited and WB wasn't shook, I would have gave y'all this. Here is Batman with the car. Or I would have gave y'all this. Here's Darkseid. Or I would have gave y'all this. Here's Steppenwolf with some spiky armor. Like, he's just been doing that little by little for 3 years.
Don't worry about it. It's 2018. Don't even worry about it. Go on. Go do what you got to do.
So the original Justice League movie made $650 million. That, by most stretches, is a very successful movie. The problem is, like I had just said, WB was planning for this to be the biggest superhero movie ever. They were expecting a Billy. It didn't even make even. And so this is considered one of the biggest bombs in superhero movie history, if not movie hero history. Fast forward into, I believe, a year or so ago, the hashtag release the Snyder cut made it to the doors of the WB, and they had it. They were like, you know what, Zack? We're going to give you a shot. And what did Zack Snyder say? Give me $70 million, an unlimited playlist.
Extra.
Let me do reshoots and don't have any control at what I produce, and I might do it.
And call Junkie XL.
Well, also, he took no salary, too. He did this all for free. He just took everything and put it towards, he took no salary. He did not get paid to do this movie.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Between him doing Army of the Dead,
he did get paid.
No, he didn't get paid.
He got paid
no.
from the original movie.
Got paid to make what he shot. One. Yeah. He didn't take more money. Yeah.
No, he didn't get paid at all for the Snyder cut. Yeah. For the whole editing and the reshooting, he did that all for free.
No, yeah.
And fast forward to go ahead, Shannon.
No, I was just gonna say ZackSnyder.org, right? Like the gift that keeps on giving.
The GoFundMe Snyder cut.
Yeah.
And so fast forward to about a week ago, a couple days ago, we got Zack Snyder's Justice League, a 4-hour tour de force of the version of Zack's movie with all his original shooting, with the original cast, 4 hours long. At first it was supposed to be a mini series, and he was like, nope, I want it to be like a full runtime movie with 5 parts, I believe.
Six.
Actually,
6 parts.
The epilogue.
Actually, he wanted the miniseries. HBO said, no, screw it. We're going to put it all together.
Executives. That's going to be a theme during this conversation.
I'll wait.
We're going to mention executives a lot.
I have something to say about that. Yeah.
And so that leads us to our conversation today. The fellas all got a chance to watch Justice League. And another thing to mention, I'm a DC head. Mark refers to himself as a DC head as well. Like we
that's surprising.
We love the DC universe. Comic book universe.
I can't let it go. I can't let it go. Now,
go ahead, Mark.
We've been to this on this podcast. I'm not going to say something's good because I like the source material. I'm not going to just go with the crowd because everyone else wants to pretend something's good, right? I wanted the original cut of Justice League more than anything to be good. I wanted Batman to v Superman to be good. I love these characters. I love the Justice League. If you asked me what I would put my own money into before the MCU and all this, MCU or DCEU, I would choose the DCEU. But I'm not going to sit here and let Esco act like that I'm some Marvel super fanboy, because I'm not. Besides Spider-Man, I'm really not. So just let's lay it all our cards on the table. Let's call a spade and call it what it is. Nels, please continue.
Anyways, we love DC. So that is some caveats as we go into the conversation. Like, this is more than just folks watching a 4-hour movie. This is reflecting on a childhood of all the things that you considered like heroes, like, and seeing them in live action. So with that, gentlemen, let's start the conversation. Who'd like to start?
Can I please? Because I think there's a lot to deal with this movie. I have a lot to say, and I'm going to try to keep it tight. I'm not going to say it all now, but I'm going to try to keep it tight because there's a lot going with this movie. I think we need to start from the beginning, right? Nils, I don't know about you. Shannon, I don't know about you either, but Esco, we saw Justice League together. Nils, we saw Batman v Superman together, I believe.
Yes, it's not to interrupt you, but you remember as soon as we walked out, you, me, and our colleague at the time, I was like pleading with you all to say it was a good movie. I was like, y'all don't understand. There were like 3 comic book references in that movie. It's good. I promise y'all it's good. Yes.
That's what I'm getting at. We walked out of Batman v Superman like kind of devastated because we just can't believe how mediocre and bad that movie was. Esco, when we walked out of Justice League, I was just disappointed. And I was disappointed because it was mediocre. And I was like, yo, a movie about the Justice League has no business being okay. It has to be amazing. It's the Justice League. And I wasn't going to settle for like, well, it was okay, so I guess we should all love it. Nah, it's the Justice League. It's the greatest superhero team of all time. I'm not just going to settle. I'm sorry, I'm not. But, so after that, I was done. I was off the DCEU. I think what happened after Justice League? Was that Suicide Squad?
No, Suicide Squad was before.
Yeah, after
what
Justice
was after
League
Justice
was Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
I saw Wonder Woman. I liked it, but then I was just kind of done with this series. Like I wasn't like no more DCEU, but if I got to these movies, I got to them. I wasn't gonna go out of my way to see them. And then when I heard just the buzz of the Snyder Cut, I was just like, "Come on, y'all! Are we serious right now? Are we really like? Why? Let's just keep it moving. Let's just keep it going." And I just want to know what were y'all thinking and feeling when the whole buzz was coming? Because my thing is, I feel like fans are getting kind of out of control. Sometimes we're right. Look, I think sometimes we're right. Like the Sonic thing. In that school, we had this discussion. I was like, look, the fans are right, but I think we're going down a slippery slope. I think we're going down a slippery slope where we're just going to get like fans who didn't get their fan theories the way they wanted or the things they wanted, and they're just going to complain and bitch and moan, and that's going to be the new norm. It's like, this movie wasn't what I wanted, so it sucks. That's not necessarily true. So,
not to interrupt you, Mark, but we need to mention an example where they were wrong, which is like Star Wars. Like they came at it horrendously and like tarnished. Like it tastes bad saying that you're a Star Wars fan, because of what Star Wars fans have recently done. Exactly. I will say the example you gave, we needed to rectify what was going on with Sonic the Hedgehog.
And that was an issue.
He was scary.
Yeah, they were right.
My child won't go watch that.
Fuel.
But dog, they were absolutely right. But I was just like, is this a Pandora's box, man? Like, are we going down a slippery? Like, yeah, we did it, we won. But like, are we going down a slippery slope? So like, I just want to set the stage for that. And where were you guys mentally when you heard about the Snyder Cut?
I'll say something. Now, for me, so I'll say, so first, I guess, I say first when I saw the Whedon Justice League, and then what I thought about when I was hearing about Snyder Cut. So are we going?
Yeah.
No, you can start there. I'm just saying, like before we even get to this movie, because this had years of buildup.
Yeah.
And buzz. It was the zeitgeist for a couple years, right? So like, how'd you feel about that?
Okay. Yeah. So coming out of Justice League, the one that Whedon made, I mean, I was like, I was a little disappointed too, because I was like, yo, it's good, but I'm supposed to come out being like, it was great, like it's right up there. That and Avengers, which is better, like Wonder Woman was easily the best part about Whedon's Justice League. So then after that, I started hearing the Snyder Cut, and little bits and pieces here and there, like, yo, like he got a full length thing, and he was gonna do this. He was gonna flesh out Cyborg. He was gonna do all this stuff, and I was like, oh, that sounds dope. But to me, I feel like nothing like that has really ever happened before, where like the crowd, the audience has been like, release this cut of the movie, release this specific cut, and then it happened. So I was like, that's great, but just like stop teasing me. You telling me all this great stuff, and it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen,
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, that's how I was feeling at the beginning, and then I just saw more and more. It was trending more and more. And still, I was like, "That's dope." I'm starting to see these. What is it like some of the character art and the drawing boards and all of these things. I'm like, "Yo, that's dope!" Like he really had a great movie, not even knowing what we had, what the Snyder Cut was going to look like. The final thing, I was like, "Yo, that's dope!" Like I like that. But once again, stop teasing me. It's not going to happen. Let's just let it rest and go about it. So that's how I was feeling earlier on. So glad to know I was wrong. It's one of the best, one of the happiest I've ever been to be wrong. So, yeah.
All right, I can jump in and then Esco, please bring us home. So pop cult, y'all know I read a whole bunch of comic books and I love superheroes. It is my obsession. Batman vs Superman hurt my heart, but I bought the Ultimate Edition and it is very much so better. It like is a cohesive story. It's also 3 hours long. But it's a cohesive story. So I was like, I'm personally good with it. Like I've come to amends with Batman vs Superman, but like the culture, the society, they were hurt. So I was like, all right, well, I'll give Suicide Squad a chance. Disappointed, thoroughly disappointed with Suicide Squad. I just knew like Suicide Squad was going to be a great movie because you can't F up that concept. Like that concept is like, it is perfect. You got a whole bunch of the worst super villains come together with Amanda Waller. Whatever. My son could make a dope Suicide Squad movie. Go ahead, Mark.
I just want to, in the DCAU, the Justice League, the Bruce Timm Justice League, one of the best episodes in that show is their version of the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
The Task Force X episode.
And to add on to that, the animated movie Batman Attack on Asylum on Arkham is one of the best animated movies they did. I was like, all you had to do was make the live action version of that animated movie. I digress. Suicide Squad was disappointing. And so when Justice League came out, my heart was hurt. And so when I saw it and I was like, oh, this is okay. I mourned. I legit mourned. I was not in a happy place because I was like, I have waited my entire life to see this team come together. And I was what I wanted was Dark Knight level stuff. Like I had how many years did Dark Knight come out? Like 10 years? 2009, like nine or so years before then. I was like, I have seen the greatest superhero movie of all time. And it's my dog. It's Batman. That's fire. Now I'm going to see Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. Give it to me, please. Fail. My heart was hurt. And like, it was a bad breakup. Like, when you love somebody, but that person ain't really doing what they supposed to. That's what was going on. It was a one-sided relationship. And so I had to break up with the DCEU. I legit did. Now, every now and then I'd be like, so what's really good? I go watch Wonder Woman. I'm like, Wonder Woman was great. I enjoyed it. I watched Aquaman, and you got to look at it like a Fast and Furious movie. So I was entertained because I knew what I was expecting. I was like, I'm just here for the action and not for the plot or the concept. Like, I am here to be entertained, and I was very much so entertained. And Shazam was cool because I watched it for free. So like, I was good. I was good at where I was. I wasn't committed. We were going on dates, but I wasn't going to commit no more. And then Zack kept hinting the stuff that he would have done. And to me, it wasn't like release the Snyder Cut. To me, it was like, yeah, that looks great, but Warner Brothers wouldn't let you do that anyway. It's like, oh, Darkseid, Warner Brothers won't gonna let you do Darkseid. Oh, you're gonna have A, B, and C happen. Well, that sounds awesome, but Warner Brothers wasn't gonna let you do that. So to me, there was no such thing as a Snyder Cut because I knew he was talking like, oh, I would have had this happen. I'm like, no, you wanted to have that happen, but there was no way that executive group would let you do something that dope. So to me, there was no such thing as the Snyder Cut. I never thought we'd be here today. I didn't think there was a chance in hell that Warner Brothers would let Snyder actually show something like this. Maybe when he passed, they would have been like, oh yeah, here's all the footage, and we'll have like a little documentary around what Zack Snyder could have done. But I would have never thought we got what we received. And I'm pleasantly happy that we received it.
To just add on before you go, Esco, in the discussion me and Esco had, I would have thought as a WB executive, they would have reestablished their universe. And then once they got their foot in it, then they would be like, okay, here's the Snyder Cut. It's 5 years later. This would have been the Snyder Cut, but you know what? We're already like 5 years into this new universe. Here you go. I'm actually surprised that they have released this before they decided what to do next. And we can get into like a lot of that later, but that did surprise me. I didn't think they would do this until they're already like stronghold into something else.
So, I don't want to go into details of like other movies because we're going to sit here for like an hour talking about certain things. But you know, like Man of Steel was great to me. I loved it. Loved the tone. I loved it. Was a perfect way to start the whole thing because it didn't really force that there was going to be a continuation. But like when you see the Easter eggs, you're like, oh, like there is a lot of things going on in this universe. So that's what really picked my brain on it. And then right after that, Batman vs Superman came out. Dude, I don't know if you guys ever seen the announcement at Comic-Con. One of the greatest announcements ever. I don't know if you ever saw it. Nels, did you see it?
I did. Yes.
Did you ever see it?
Absolutely one of the greatest announcements ever. One of the greatest trailers ever too. Like everything hyping up the movie. No, I would argue Zack Snyder has the greatest trailers like of any medium ever.
Well, if we're on that subject,
opinion.
he kind of ruined the movie with the trailer by showing that if he didn't show Doomsday.
Yeah, that was his biggest mistake.
Doomsday,
he should not have shown. God. The movie would have been so much better if I knew I wasn't going to see Doomsday later.
Seriously.
That was a big mistake. But it was Warner Brothers who did that. It wasn't him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because you could tell in the first couple, like they didn't even show any evidence of Doomsday in the first two trailers. It was the final trailer they showed it. So
and that was Warner
Brothers. Definitely Warner Brothers doing that. Mm-hmm. But my feeling with Batman versus Superman at the end was like, I liked it. I really, really liked it. And when people say they hated it or like how the story was just didn't make sense. I totally agree. It didn't. It totally didn't. But I think I was such in the lore of the whole thing. I'm just like, dog, like, it's still good. like I'm just blinded to it. I'm just like, it's still good. Like, but like the lore was so good, you know, like how things looked. Ben Affleck as Batman is the best live action Batman we've ever gotten. Telling you, fight me. Anyone
I won't fight you.
Me.
I won't fight you. He probably is the best. I'll say when it comes to both Bruce Wayne and Batman, he probably is the best live action version we've ever gotten.
I agree with that.
And I told Mark this. I always said that I feel like Zack Snyder just wanted to make a Batman movie so bad, but he couldn't.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that too.
Just like how much details and attention he puts towards Batman alone. I'm just like, dude, you're in love with Batman. And like there's these small details. I don't know if I ever told you, Mark, but like there's these small details in the movie, like the gun that's in the Batmobile. There's the I don't know what to say, like the triggers for the gun, the buttons for the gun, the controls and everything are on the passenger seat. That means he modded the car to put the triggers for the gun on the passenger seat. And who was in the passenger seat before then? Robin. That means he was so mad against the world that he said, fuck it, I'm going to kill these villains now that Robin's dead. Like these little details, I'm just like so into it. Like I'm like, yo, he has a story to tell. So I'm like just paying attention to the stories. I'm paying attention to little Easter eggs that like Joker has like holes on his shoulders exactly where the armor was from Robin, so they don't know what happened to Robin. Like there's these small details. So I was like so in the lore of DCU because of it. And then here comes Suicide Squad. Academy Award winning Suicide Squad, by the way.
There we go.
I didn't want to correct you. I didn't want to correct you guys every time you mispronounce the name of the movie. It's called Academy Award winning Suicide Squad. Anyways, so Suicide Squad comes out. It's an okay. I wouldn't even say so. Honest, I'm being so dead honest. It's not even. It's barely an okay movie. But man, the fan theories were so entertaining. I was so addicted to the fan theories. Like, I don't think you guys noticed that Clint Eastwood's son is Scott Eastwood. He's in the movie. Yeah. He has a no-name part in the movie. So there's these fan theories of who he is. He might be Robin undercover in the jail, trying to make sure all the villains are okay. So like, there's these little itty-bitty things. And then, you know, Harley Quinn in the little bullet parts saying that she helped kill Robin. So you're like, how'd that happen? And there's some other ones. But anyway, so there's just so many fan theories. So like, I'm just caught up with the fan theories. So I use that as entertainment for the movie. Even though the movie was a piece of crap, I use that to like, okay, everything is still connected, you know? And then Birds of Prey is Birds of Prey. Shazam is Shazam. You know, they're not bad movies, but whatever. And we get to Justice League. Yeah, we got there. And it was all right. It was cool, I guess, type of feeling. But me knowing as it went along, like what happened to Zack Snyder. So I knew when we saw the movie, this isn't his vision. And I'm like, damn, like at the moment I saw him, like, I wish we saw what Zack Snyder wanted to do. And more so down the line, I'm hearing about the Snyder Cut. I'm sending Mark all these Snyder Cut news and how it might come and how like they raised $100,000.
I just wanted to live my life. I just wanted to live. He wouldn't let me live.
For years, he would send him this stuff.
I did it from the very beginning. Like, I think
Esco, how many times did I say like I just can't wait for this to be over? Like I was just
coming up to the release. He said that every day. Like the countdown towards the release. You used to say it like once a month. Now you said it like every day. You said it at least once a day. But dude, like people people gave $100K to suicide prevention, you know, because of Autumn and all that stuff. And like the movement got harder and harder. Someone bought a plane to carry a banner on the Oscar award ceremony just to say release the Snyder Cut. They bought ads on TV shows that said release the Snyder Cut. They have like bus stops that says release the Snyder Cut. Like people are paying for these, not him, but people are. And the fact that they did this just for a guy to finish a movie, because in essence, he lost his way of making it because of what happened to him, I thought that was kind of cool. And I knew we were going to get it. I knew, but I didn't think we were going to get a finished product or the way he wanted it to come out. And that's just an added bonus. And like, what was it else he said? I thought it was going to be like 10 years later, like a 10-year anniversary. Like, hey, you know what? We have a whole bunch of other footage. Here you go. It's not finished, and it probably won't make sense, but here you go. I thought we were going to get something like that, not a finished product.
Can I retort? So like okay, that's cool. One of my favorite podcasts, We Hate Movies, they have this saying, they're like, it's okay to like a movie, right? That's fine. It's okay to like a movie. I'm glad you got entertainment out of these movies, and that's cool that you were into all the little Easter eggs. My biggest thing was I didn't care. So then like you show me like a screenshot of Robin this or Harley, like I'm like, but I didn't care about the movie. Why would I care about the Easter eggs, right? And that was just me. Like I just didn't care. I was like, look, call me when the next one comes out. I hope it's good, but like other than that, I'm not invested. I think the way this happened is very cool. and the fans of it, I guess they should be proud of themselves. The fans who weren't dicks, because there was a lot of like toxic fans when it came to like this happening. And so, but the fans that like did it for like his supporting him, what happened to Autumn? Yo, kudos to you. You made it happen. This is a fan driven thing. That's awesome. I just was not invested in it. If this film never existed, the Snyder Cut never existed, I would go about life like just regular,
I mean, if that's your philosophy, you could say that about a lot of movies too,
But dog, we've had this discussion. This happens all the time. It happens with movies, TV shows. Directors have to leave, writers have to leave, and them's the breaks. That's Hollywood. And like to like say that everything that comes out is an unfinished vision. That's why you have second unit directors. That's why you have punch up script guys. That's why you have editors, because this happens. Paul Walker died in the middle of a movie and it kept going. Like, should we demand the Paul Walker cut of Fast and Furious 7? You know what I'm saying? Like, this happens. And like, I'm glad for the fans that got it done. But like, what I'm not even upset about it. It's like, when this came out, there was people willing to die on a hill for the Whedon cut, right? They're like, no, you're wrong. It's great. It's great. And that happened for years. And now that the Snyder cut buzz happened, it's like everyone's acting like they knew from the get-go, like, oh, no, this is what we really wanted. It's like, really? Is this what you really wanted? Because you sound like someone who just wants to back anything that's this franchise.
I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen in the DCEU community, or of one, I didn't really get that feel for that. I always got the feel that everyone wanted the Snyder cut from the beginning, even before the Whedon cut came out.
I'm just saying, like, dude, they were there. There was people willing to die on the hill for the Whedon cut, and even like I told you now, even WB, like they kind of like flipped the script and retconned themselves, like, oh yeah, it just didn't work out. We always kind of wanted this to happen. It's like, did you really want this to happen?
Yeah.
Do you think there's anybody still willing to die on the hill and be like, yeah, I saw the Snyder cut, but I still am big fan. Whedon cut is better. I wonder, because there are some illogical people out there. So I just wonder, is there?
No, there's someone right. No, Shannon, to answer your question.
One person.
No. There's somebody out there.
There probably is.
There's somebody out there who's ride or die Whedon.
I haven't seen that.
It doesn't help that like recent events ain't helping the brother either. Like, he's been doing some like shicey stuff. So it's like, it's very helpful to like burn that movie at the stake right now. Like, this and recent events is kind of helping.
By pure numbers, there has to be like a couple of people who are like, no, I really like the Whedon cut. So
I if there is, that joint is very small number. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I have not seen, me personally, I have not seen anyone say that yet.
It's got to be. And my guess is it's out of pride. Because, like, when somebody's wrong and they're like, forget it, I'm going to double down. And it's like, but you don't even really believe that.
Yeah.
No, I don't, but I can't be proven wrong.
So y'all, let's talk about this movie. Like, we talked about the stuff around, like what led to it. But this movie is out. We've all seen it. Let's talk about it. What do y'all want to share about this movie?
All right.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, because I got to say, it turned me legit. And so what does that mean? So, Pop Cult family, y'all have heard me reference many times how when I've watched a movie, I found a site to watch it on. I somehow had a bootleg. I found some free way or some free site or something to get it on.
Yes.
On Wednesday evening, I logged into the computer and then I started a subscription for HBO Max. The legit way. Just
Whoa! What? Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first.
Straight up. I was like, look, I'm not gonna find it on the website. I ain't even gonna try it. I was like, I'm gonna give you this money. You deserve it. So but yeah, like I got a subscription to HBO Max solely for this. So it's got that type of thing to it. So like I said, I went legit. went ahead, got HBO Max, paying for it monthly, like the legal way, like what people do. And so
we're gonna check in next episode, see if he still has it.
Yeah.
In case y'all wondering, we're gonna check in.
I'm gonna have it at least till I get to watch Mortal Kombat, and then we'll see.
Yo,
there you go.
That new Netflix password algorithm is solely because of shit.
Yo, that's real. But yeah, and so also we got the group chat and everything. So I started watching it Thursday night. So that was also a blessing because for some reason I thought it was not coming out until that Friday. And so then I was like, yo, it's out Thursday. So I was able to watch some at night. 2 minutes into the movie, I texted our Pop Coke group chat and I was like, yo, I know we're going to do an episode on it. So I ain't going to say much, but I just want to say I'm 2 minutes into this movie and it is different. It is a different movie. So, like I said, 2 minutes into it blew my mind. And like overall, I'm gonna try to keep it short. Overall, this movie was amazing. For some reason, it brought to me the images of Van Jones, how he just cries on TV for whatever, just being, I don't know, proud, happy, whatever it is. I felt like Van Jones. This is the only time I'll say this. I felt like Van Jones for a minute. I just wanted to cry. It was beautiful. It was
tonight. Shannon's whole family trying to sleep. He's like, tonight was an answer.
I saw it become real. And so
characters matter. Editing matters.
Exactly. So that's how I felt. But like I said, it was amazing because it did all the things. Pretty much any question I had from the Whedon Justice League was pretty much answered here, or those things that didn't make sense, or the piece of like, why should I even care about this person that much? Like all of that to me was pretty much answered here. Also, it didn't have the Russian family. I'm happy about that because
that was so obvious that was going to be in the movie.
Yeah. That piece was so annoying to me. I was like, I don't know why that Russian family, like why am I supposed to care about the Russian family? And it turns out you weren't supposed to. So good. And yeah, so overall, like I said, just amazing movie from really getting into, especially the Flash and Cyborg, their sort of backstories. The way that Wonder Woman fought in this movie was just light years ahead of what we saw in the previous version.
Dare I say the Wonder Woman movie too?
Yeah.
So, well, can I just because. Nels, I don't know if I had this conversation with you, but Esco, we had this conversation about Wonder Woman, and I was like, the fighting in that movie was cool, but when she did superhero stuff, it looked kind of lame. And I said, Zack Snyder knows how to make these superhero people move.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. He knows how to make them fight and know how to make them move. And like Shannon, I agree with you 100%. Wonder Woman, the way she moved and fought in this movie was like perfect.
Yeah. Exactly. And so obviously there's so much more I could say, but I won't stay on my part too long, but I'll just say, it was 4 hours. It was worth every bit of it. I chopped it up in, I think, like 2 nights watching it. Movie blew my mind. That's all I can say. I woke up my wife multiple times. So I'm sleeping on the couch now, but I woke up multiple times now being like, yo, this is so good. And she's just like, oh, that's good to hear.
Still been for the first time in 4 years. I feel safe. I feel happy.
So Shannon, I want to say this.
Yeah,
I kind of one-upped you on the HBO Max thing. Me and Mark, we had a bet about Darkseid, and I lost that bet. And not only did I put 20 in, but I put 35 in for the American Suicide Prevention donation.
Nice.
$15 for a movie ticket. I was like, let me pay $15 for this movie ticket. That's how much I liked it.
That's what's up.
Okay. Yo, so to make that clear, Esco and I had a bet. I said that Darkseid screen time in this movie would be no more than 5 minutes.
He made more than 5 minutes, but I still was like, you know what?
Is it?
Yeah, I put a timer on it. You want to know how much it was exactly?
Hold on. Did you time when he was on screen or just the scenes he was in?
Him and on screen, but I didn't take out the little cuts.
Okay. Well,
I was like, that's too much work. I'm not doing all that.
It?
Huh? Oh, it was 6 minutes and 48 seconds.
Well, you know what? Since it's to a good cause, I'll match what you did and I'll donate to the same thing. We said whoever won would have to donate to the suicide prevention or Zack Snyder's
American
organization.
Suicide Prevention. That's where he donated it. I had to look it up.
So I will match in good faith. I will match your donation.
All right.
And you know what, y'all? I'm going to also match your donation, but I'm going to donate to Eustress, which is my frat brother's mental health awareness organization. So I'm doing it mostly to jump on the ship, but also because it is a great cause. So I'm gonna jump in real quick because I feel like Esco, Clyde, y'all are going to be talking for a minute. So I'm just going to jump in and say how I feel, and I'm going to get on my soapbox like I do every episode. When I finished watching this movie, there's only a few times I have felt this. Like it was I don't know, like pop cult. We got some international listeners, so I don't know if y'all got Shake Shack in some of the countries that listen to us that broadcast Pop Cult Parent, but it's like eating a double Shack burger with fries and ketchup. Like it is just a wholesome, great meal, and you're happy. When I was done watching this movie, I looked at my wife and I said, "This is one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen." It ain't perfect by no means, but damn it, I love it. Like I love this movie. And I'm going to watch it again. It's actually on right now. Like I was in love with this movie when I was done watching it. Like while I was watching it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I did not think I was going to like it. So for me to not just like it, but love it was fire. So ranking wise, look, y'all, I'm gonna keep it a buck. It ain't no Dark Knight. First and foremost. Just to get that out the way. And two, if I'm putting this against the MCU, I don't think it's touching the top 5 Marvel movies. Like I put it maybe right under those, but it's easily the best DCEU movie I've seen. Easily. Like this movie was so good. And for so much stuff, like, but the one thing I'll talk about before I turn it over to y'all, there's actually 2 things. The one thing I'll share is if you read these comic books, Zack Snyder was like, I got you. Like you could see an aspect of what you like about your hero in all 65, I don't know how many. I mean, I'm including Martian Manhunter too. In all the heroes that you saw there, the part of why you like that hero, Snyder represented in some way, shape, or form. And like, that's why I was like, man, like, thank you. I got to see the kind of Wonder Woman I like, I got to see on here. The kind of Batman I like, for some aspects of it, I got to see on here. Superman, all of them, like, I got to see a glimpse of what makes them special to me. I got to see on screen. And like, I owe that man because I did not think I was going to live and experience a movie where I was going to get to see my favorite heroes come together and be a team. The second thing I want to say is, so I always remember Vic Stone being a good football player, but that brother should have won the Heisman. Like, I'm like, yo, did we just see Cam Newton? Like, do y'all remember? Like, he was playing Wisconsin. He single-handedly beat Wisconsin in the snow at Gotham City. Like, I always knew he was like kind of good based off of, comic book lore. No, that brother was great. Like, I feel like, man, that's messed up, man. He should be in the NFL. He should not be a superhero. He should be in somebody's team winning them the Super Bowl.
He would have.
Yeah. It's a shame.
If an incident didn't happen.
I got a couple things to say. I got like some more informed questions. Esco, I don't know. You're a guest. Would you like to go next?
I kind of do because I don't want to be last every time.
No, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Man.
No, go ahead. I don't mind.
No. For real?
Go ahead, sir.
All right. Let me I'll start from this because I got a lot to say about this movie, man. And I'll try to keep it as short as I can. First, like, when I saw this movie, the first thing that went in my head was like, I don't understand why WB did not just release this. I don't understand that when Zack Snyder had to leave, they didn't just get someone to get his like second unit director to just finish up. Because on paper, this is the same movie. Like when it comes to like the synopsis, it's the same movie. Batman gets the team together. Steppenwolf wants the mother boxes. Superman comes back. So I'm like, why didn't y'all just release this? Because I'm with y'all. I don't think I liked it as much as you were, Nels, you and Shannon. But I had a good time with this movie. If this is what I saw in 2017, I would not have given up so quickly on the DCEU. And I text Esco when I was watching this. I was like, I don't know what it is. I feel like the first 10, 15 minutes into this movie, I was like, this doesn't feel like the same guy that made Batman v Superman and made Man of Steel. I don't like it has his Zack Snyder-isms, and we could talk about that. There's plenty of Zack Snyder-isms.
He's still Zack Snyder. He's gonna be Zack Snyder.
He's still Zack Snyder. They're all throughout this 4-hour movie, but like it doesn't feel like the same guy, and it still has his signature desaturation. But like I don't know if it's like the lighting. It just feels richer and warmer than his other movies. It's like I like looking at this movie. Like I don't like looking at Man of Steel really, and for like some scenes, and then like Batman v Superman, but it's just so many things were going through my mind when I watched this. Like I had a great time. This was fun. It's like, what did it take for Zack Snyder to start putting some fun in his movies? And I think people confuse I think people want their movies, they want their superheroes to be dark because they want their stories to be mature. And I feel like those are two different things. You can have something be mature and it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. And like throughout this movie, there's some sense of like hope. There's some sense of like we're doing this for a bigger picture, a greater good. And it's just nice to see in the DCEU. We didn't see that until Wonder Woman, and then we got it like, Aquaman and Shazam. But one thing I'll say about this movie, and Nels, like you said, we're DC heads. We go back. I think we're gonna know each other for 20 years coming up, right?
Yep.
I found out who Cyborg was as a character maybe when I was 12, 13 years old. I'm in my mid-30s. I have never in my life thought it would be cool to be Cyborg. That has never like gone through my head. I've never gone down this like it'd be cool to be Cyborg. I tell you what, this movie made me realize it might be kind of cool to be Cyborg. Like the things he can do, the things he's capable of. I was like, yo, I've never seen this character like explored like this. It's always like, oh, I'm a monster now. Oh, I'm not a monster. Booyah! Like it's always kind of the same thing.
Hey, come to think of it, he never said booyah in the movie, did he?
He did not say booyah.
No, he didn't.
In this version of the movie.
Yeah.
In this version. Yeah. Which that's fine, but like, so like, I was like, I really appreciate the Cyborg.
But he did run for 30 yards for a touchdown. Come see, come side. You can't have both.
He did. So like I was really impressed by that. I was like, wow, Zack Snyder, you made me like really appreciate Cyborg. I talked to Esco about this. I think it's impossible to make Cyborg look cool in live action. I don't think it's possible. I think he looks corny in Doom Patrol, and I think he looks corny in this movie. But I like the character. I like what they did with him.
I would argue, just to throw in there real quick, not to interrupt you, I appreciate his look at Doom Patrol because it kind of matches the vibe of the show.
Yeah,
it kind of just makes sense. Look. Like he should be corny, but like I feel you. It's kind of hard to pull off like a walking animatronic thing.
I think the problem is they're going too much robot with him. I think they need to do kind of like what Young Justice season 3 did, and he's not fully a robot. He's like a cyborg. He has like some limbs left. I don't know. I think that might work, but the other thing, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think it's the whole. I think he can't do that because he's constantly updating in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's just like it'll be hard to like justify him flying if one of his arms has the rockets and the other one doesn't. So I think it's a whole physics thing. He did that just so he could cop it out easily.
It could be. It could be like it's easier to make him stand in a green suit and then just digitally do whatever.
In
the production.
Not to nerd out. I promise I'm gonna go 30 seconds in the explanation, and I'm gonna leave it alone. Esco's point is part of the reason why he looks the way he does. Like when he starts off and gets merged with the mother box, based on the comic books, it's really like an arm, his entire head, and half his, like the majority of his chest, and like one leg. But like the mother box in him, which is called Grid, slowly takes over the rest of his body. Because it's like constantly updating. And it's like, well, if you want to be 5% better, I need to take control of this organ or this part of your body. And that's how you'll be able to save the day here. And so like slowly but surely his body, it like turns up to like where he is now in like the Justice League movie. Like that's the cyborg that you see after years of the mother box slowly taking over his body. So that's just a quick nerd moment there for you.
And no, I have a question too. Is that day one cyborg, the whole mother box thing, or is that like a more recent kind of like retcon kind of thing with him? That he's part mother box?
Bruh, there's been so many iterations of Cyborg. I would say the most popular New 52 iteration of Cyborg is, yes, it's always been mother box. Like pretty much the explosion. So they had a car accident here. What happened in the comic books was a boom tube exploded in Star Labs and tore his body apart. And so like Star Labs, they used all the technology in Star Labs, including a mother box, to put them all together again. And so if you imagine Star Labs has all the greatest technology on the planet. So he's legit like got the best aspects of like, imagine if Stark, Pym, and every other great inventor had like a cabinet of stuff that like they don't want anyone to touch. That's what he's made out of.
Got you. So I'll try to wrap up. I'm happy to say that the parts that I did like about 2017 Justice League, after seeing this, those were Zack Snyder's original shots, and the parts I didn't like were Whedon's shots. After seeing this, I think Zack needs to move to television, and that's not a knock on him. I don't think he is capable of telling his stories in like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. He needs like long format storytelling to flesh out his vision, which is fine. I just don't think he's going to be able to do that in movies. And moving forward, like, it's going to be interesting because people are like continuing the Snyderverse. I don't know if I'm Warner Brothers and COVID's over, I want to get people back at the box office. But there's no way I'm going to release 4 5-hour long Zack Snyder DC movies. But I think the best way we're going to get his storytelling is with these long cuts. So I think that's just that's something that like we're going to have to see what happens. But I was pleasantly surprised with this movie. I enjoyed this movie. I don't understand why DC didn't or WB didn't just release this. You know, it's essentially the same movie. They must have had no faith in the guy, or who knows what was going on behind the scenes. But I don't think I liked it as much as y'all. Like Nels, I told Esco I could probably find 10 superhero movies that I would watch, or I would say are better than this. But this is really good. This is the best DCEU movie, and it's Zack Snyder's best superhero movie he's ever made.
You said superhero movie. Is this not the best Zack Snyder movie you've ever seen?
I haven't gone back to like Dawn of the Dead, but that's really good.
Oh,
it's
great.
Like,
Dawn of the Dead is great. Yes.
Really good. So I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Not to interrupt you, Mark, but when you were talking about like you haven't seen this Zack Snyder before, I was like, I have. It was Dawn of the Dead. Like Dawn of the Dead was like, they had light moments, but like it was like a great zombie like movie. It was very entertaining.
Here's the thing, like, to bring up Dark Knight because it's the best. The slow moments in Dark Knight are still engaging because you like to hear what they're talking about. You're like, oh, what's going to happen next? The dialogue means something. What people do means something and leads into, there's not just action. What happens leads into the action. And I felt like you got that in this movie. When Batman v Superman happened, or when we saw that movie, like, there's cool action moments, but like, other than that, I was like, I don't care. Like, can we move this along? Where's the point and can we get to it? I really enjoyed this, man. I'm pleasantly surprised. And if this is what came out in 2017, I would be happy to see what Zack Snyder had next.
Yeah.
Esco?
Yo, nah.
What you gotta say now?
Yeah, no. Dude, I loved the movie. I loved it. No, but seriously. Yo, like I don't know if you guys saw the very first trailer for the Justice League. Like, that was the Snyder Cut. The very, very first trailer was the Snyder Cut. So, like, me seeing the opening scenes, like, I knew automatically. I'm like, yo, we're really seeing the real thing right now. I was just, like, so excited. And I think I told you, Mark, that, like, I only saw up to the first chapter, that little title card. And then I went to bed. I stayed up till 3 a.m. just to watch that one part. So then, me seeing this, and like what you said, I just don't understand how Warner Brothers wouldn't release this. And to say that it's like a racist thing, I'm just like, that's pretty petty. If that's true, or if any of that is true in the least, that's pretty petty. They don't want Cyborg being the central heart of the movie, Like, if someone told me, yo, Justice League is going to be centered around Cyborg a little bit, I'd be like, that's weird, but I really want to see how he pulls it off. And he pulled it off great. Flash, so I guess as a casual viewer, you don't know much about Cyborg or Flash coming into this movie. And Zack Snyder did brilliantly bringing them in the most, I want to say, in the most organic way, Like, hey, we're just going to do slight mentions of Flash's origin, and you'll get it, Well, you'll get it. He's just going to mention here and there, like, what happened. You'll get it. And, like, we went to the whole thing with Cyborg, and I know we couldn't do that with all 4 characters. We don't have the time for that, But I like that they did that just so you could connect as an audience with Cyborg. And I appreciated that. To go back also, the movie didn't have to be 4 hours long. Let's all be real.
Facts. Big facts.
Well, and Nels, I'm sorry, Esco. I just want to, I don't think this movie is as good as it is if it's not 4 hours long. Because I don't think Zack Snyder can tell this story in a shorter format.
I think it could have been 3 hours.
Yeah. I mean, take
3.5 hours.
Take out some of the slow motion. Take out some of the slow motion.
Yeah.
That's
That's 45 minutes right there.
I was going to say this next. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos online where they compare scenes from the Whedon cut and the Snyder cut, like the similar scenes and how it's different.
Yeah.
Man, Snyder does not cut anything out. Like, say if I'm walking to a building, he will film me taking that turn to the building. There's no cut scene like, oh, he's 2 blocks away. Now he's 1 block away. Oh, no, now he's in front of the building. No, you see the whole fucking walk, those 3-block walk to the building. So he doesn't cut any of that out. And I'm just thinking, like, I get it. You're just trying to escalate the feeling of the moment or whatever. But, man, you could cut out at least 2 minutes doing it that way. And the whole slow motion thing, yeah, that's his style. Obviously, we all knew that before the movie came out. But I think the fact that the movie's 4 hours long, and that's what we saw repeatedly, we're just like, oh, you're overkilling it now. Because that's the only thing he does, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, you put me on a dance floor for 20 minutes, you're going to see me do the dice move at least like 20 times. Because that's the only move I got.
Yeah, man. You think he just wanted to get to that golden number? Like, y'all giving me this and 70 million? Right. I'm going to make a 4-hour movie.
Esco, I think you're right. Because, like, I was just thinking about that scene where Lois comes out the coffee shop and they play that, like, it's in slow motion and they have that, like, music in the background. He's like, she comes out, she gets her coffee, she opens her umbrella, she sets her coffee down. I'm like, this isn't really needed. Mm-hmm. Like, I get what you're doing, but, like, you can capture this tone and mood by shorten this by 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I think you could take little parts like that and you could probably shorten the movie 20 minutes. I think you could shorten the movie by a good 20 minutes if you do that. So I also think he just did that just to say he did a 4-hour movie, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he did that just to say it hit 4 hours. But yeah, I mean, if we had to sit here and be like, yo, what's your gripes about the movie? I wouldn't say the only, but one big gripe I have about the movie, the goddamn soundtrack, man.
Yeah, it was a little depressing.
Yeah.
It's not even that. Dude, oh my, why every time Wonder Woman even touches the screen,
you
hear the chorus.
That ladies in the background.
Yeah.
Like every time she's like typing.
I'm just getting some coffee.
What I was gonna say was like, I didn't like that one because like I like the other one better. Like whenever she's fighting, it's like nah, 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 nah. You know, everything goes like I love when that hits and it's like okay, she's doing the thing. And then I feel like in this one they switched it to
like there was this one scene she barely did anything and they still did it. And I'm like, yo, you don't need to do it. She's not doing anything right now.
I got this. Like, that is my only gripe as well. That and it Bruce doesn't need to be 4
Diana,
hours.
Can I help you? She's like, I'm just looking for something, Bruce. I found it.
But I mean, so take the negative, but the positive, man. There's so many little changes that I loved so much. Like, dude, the fight scenes. Oh my god, that fight scene in the Whedon cut where like they tell Flash only save one.
Yeah,
you know, and like he runs and grabs one person or whatever and all that crap. Dog, I laughed so hard when Flash came into the room. He's like, "We're not doing the plan."
Yeah.
And then I guess what he ran and pushed somebody, but like I love that more. Like it just seemed more cohesive between them. Like he's nervous and he like I get what they were trying to do without them explaining like they did in Whedon.
Yeah.
And then I talked to you about this, Mark, but like the dude, when the dad died and he shot the mother box, I'm like, yo, this dude just died, and he wasn't even close to destroying the damn thing.
Yes.
What a waste. I was like, yo, they killed him in vain. Like, yo, it wasn't even close to getting destroyed. And then the moment he said he killed himself to make it the hottest, like he put thermals in it to make it the hottest thing in the world. I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. I was like, that's brilliant.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
That's something that makes sense. And you had to explain that. It was justifiable to explain that, you know? So I'm like, oh, okay. You totally redeemed yourself there. Because I was so mad they killed him for no reason for a second.
Yeah, I was with you. I was like, that was really, what did that do? That didn't do anything.
Yeah. I'm a little struck by, I feel like nobody really asked Cyborg how he was doing either. Like they immediately were like, okay, so to get to the box, we got to figure this, that. I'm like, his dad just died. Like, they were legit.
I mean, he was crying for a second. It was funny. He's like crying for a second, and then he like kind of stands up, looks at the board, and he's like, oh, he was doing the equation, you guys.
No, but Aquaman and Flash did have a conversation about it. They're like, dude, this man's about to sacrifice himself and split these boxes open, and his dad just died about 15 minutes ago. And Barry was like, should we say something? And Aquaman like, nah, I'm just saying.
Nah, I'm just saying. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, man.
Like, look, if you want to talk to him, we can talk to him. I'm just saying.
That grave scene was hilarious too, between Flash and Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they need to do a buddy cop movie, man. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Esco, I think, and we can further talk about it, but I'm invested in these characters. Like this movie, I'm back in the DCEU. Like, I'm invested, and the crazy thing is, like, I don't know how much I'm gonna get, and am I gonna enjoy what I get? Cause, like, is Zack gonna be involved in any of the stuff going forward? And Mark, to your point, if Zack's involved, it needs to be on TV. Cause, like, I'm not going to a theater and watching 3-4 hour movies. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't have the time. I had to plan Endgame, like, plan it.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, I was not invested in the DCEU. This movie has me invested in the DCEU. I want to know more about these characters and the journeys that they're going on.
That's what we wanted from jump. Mm-hmm. That's what we wanted from the get-go. We wanted to care about what we were seeing. Like, yeah, it's cool. It looks cool. But, like, why should I give a damn? And I think that's what we wanted. At least, Nels, I think that's what you and I wanted from the get-go.
Yeah.
Let me ask this. If you get the same Justice League 2 and it's this jam-packed of stories, would you watch a 3-hour movie?
I watch it at home?
I'm not saying a Cyborg movie. I'm saying a Justice League movie, too. Would you watch it for 3 hours?
In the theater? Or...
I don't know how the world's going to be.
Yeah. But no, I'm like, I would watch a 3 hour of it. If you talking theater, I mean, well, yeah, because Endgame was like 3 hours, right?
But Endgame was Endgame.
Yeah, it was Endgame. Yeah. So I mean, this was the perfect way to put it out. You know, to put it on like HBO Max or some type of streaming thing. If you think go to the theater, watch it 3 hours, and like the world is safe and all of that, probably. Like, I probably would, but
I would still watch it if it's the Justice League. If they say Cyborg, I would still watch it, but I'm just like, all right, you're getting kind of like excessive. Like, I'd be like, you have an issue with time if you're going to make a 3 hour Cyborg movie, you know?
Yeah.
But the Justice League, it's understandable. You're gonna maybe make it 3 hours. You know, I wouldn't blame him for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it depends on because clearly the conclusion to this is a war with Apocalypse and some type of Flashpoint crossover, you know, because I mean that's basically the epilogue. So that's I think that's the end game to all of this.
The rumor's not that. But yeah,
I mean, rumors are rumors. I mean,
the storyboard that he drew up, that's not the end, but that's. But
I heard about the whole Batman, the Kent's kid being Batman thing. I mean, I'm like, okay, like I have to see it. Like, I have no opinion on that. I have to see it, but like, you don't put Darkseid in your movie and give him a Terrence Howard next time, baby. If you're not gonna like conclude that. You know what I'm saying? You don't show Granny Goodness in the whole like what do you say at the end? We'll do it the old fashioned way. He basically pulled a Thanos. He's like, I'll do it myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's got to lead to something. That's either going to be the conclusion of the next movie or the movie after that. You know what I'm saying? So,
he's definitely not coming there the next movie. That's a 2 movie trip.
And then my point is like, I'm not saying like I wouldn't go see that, but I've seen that done so much before with like other mediums like Superman and Darkseid. Like it's like it's DC's like go-to. It's like the Darkseid. So like cool, but like I've seen that. You know what I'm saying? So I would need some like show me how you're gonna make it different. But like after seeing this movie, I want to be opposed to like seeing before this movie, you tell me like the next Justice League is coming out. I'm like, dog, if I see it, I'll see it when I see it. You know what I'm saying? That's if I see it. But like, I would go see the next Justice League movie after this cut.
If Zack Snyder's involved, or it doesn't matter?
if Zack Snyder's involved after this cut, I'll give him faith on the next one. I personally, I think the man, he's done what he's done. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything to like kind of keep it moving. I think DC and all of us just kind of need kind of somewhat of a hard reset on this whole universe. I think Flashpoint is the way to do that, but I think, you know, we just need a fresh start. And it's not even like anti-Snyder. I just think this whole thing needs a whole fresh.
All right. So here's my thing about restart. Here's my thing about continuing the DCEU. There is a difference between what Zack Snyder was able to do here and what my issue has and will continue to be with anything else DCEU related. And that is Warner Brothers. I do not trust what has not changed in all of this is Warner Brothers. I don't trust that studio. When they get involved, they F stuff up. They do not make anything better. They just make it worse. What they gave Zack was creative freedom, which I have never heard. Like, the only time I've heard them give some type of resemblance of creative freedom was Christopher Nolan. And they still get involved. And the little parts where they get involved is like the little things you're like, I don't like that. That's what Warner Brother does. That's what they have done. That's what they currently do. I have no trust to believe that's not what they're going to do in the future. So while I'm still invested, okay, go ahead, Esco. What's the good news, brother?
James Gunn said WB did not touch anything with the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, I hear that, but that movie need to come out. Cause like Warner Brothers has said before that they don't touch anything, and they've touched stuff still.
Didn't Homeboy when and Esco, you'll probably be able to clear this up. When Suicide Squad came out, didn't dude who directed it was like, "Oh, this is my vision. This is my movie."
David Ayer?
Didn't he swear that?
He said that.
Didn't he swear?
That.
And then hired a whole new.
Oh, he did.
I thought I heard
he
that.
did, and then he came back and
that.
was like, "No, that wasn't my vision." They like it was like it started off like that, but then they really wanted to go this direction based off of the trailers. Like it tested.
Because the trailer, they hired the trailer company to re-edit the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I'm with you, Nels. I don't trust Warner. And the crazy thing is, the stories are there. Y'all have made these stories in your animated universes. Just take that and make it live action.
Is it me? Or is the animated movies really slacking now?
I haven't seen them in a minute. I ain't even gonna lie.
Hush was horrible. Killing Joke was.
The ones surrounding the Justice League are pretty solid. I haven't seen any of those Batman ones, but the Justice League ones are pretty solid. Justice League War, Justice League Dark, the Batman. Just
to finish my thought about WB executives, and I promise you I'll stop. There's one saving grace if the DCEU is going to be a thing, and that is J.J. Abrams, because I believe if you're gonna trust anyone, trust J.J. Abrams, and if you can't trust him, stop making these movies. Like that's that. Like you ain't about to break my heart again. I'm coming back because I love what you did, but you ain't gonna break my heart again. So if you don't trust JJ, if you don't trust JJ Abrams to do anything superhero related, stop making it. Like focus on Harry Potter universe. Do something else, because like you're gonna mess it up if you don't trust them.
So to piggyback off that, Nels, it's gonna be. Like I said, this isn't over yet. And one thing I said to Esco, Shannon, I don't feel like, I hope not like feel like you're leaving you out, buddy, but like this is just what we talk about. Me and Esco all day.
Yeah. Pretty much. No, we knew this going in. There's a Esco.
Knew what it was.
We have a personal podcast. We have no audience and no recordings of.
Like, I think WB has really and Esco, I said this to you. I'm like, I don't see the win by putting the Snyder Cut out right now. Like, I don't see. I think it's a lose-lose. I said before this even came out, I was like, I think it's a lose-lose for WB because if it comes out and it sucks, you just wasted another $70 million on this thing. If it comes out and it's better, people are like, well, why didn't you trust this vision to begin with, right? Now you got JJ in the mix. Okay, there's talk about continuing the Snyderverse and all that stuff. JJ is clearly doing something. It's Earth 2 related, but you don't bring in that guy just to have him do one movie and say goodnight. I don't know if you're going to get into some type of bidding war or like what. Who do you pick when it comes to this? Like JJ and Zack Snyder. No, hold on, Nils. I see your reaction, right? JJ and Zack Snyder both have big box office draw. Like whatever. Zack Snyder's movies make money at the end of the day. They make money, right? So then it's like, are you going to get into some type of like head-to-head match? Like, do we give this to JJ? Do we give it to Zack Snyder? Because I'll be real. If you're looking at numbers, if I'm a studio head and I'm going strictly off numbers because that's what I care about, I'm going with JJ. Because he is a franchise like blockbuster guy. He's gonna bring your franchise in $1 billion. So now that you've created all this like goodwill with fans and all this Zack Snyder buzz, you're gonna dump that to the curb now. And I think they painted themselves in a horrible corner at the end of the day.
I don't see the end game. Not to play on words. Yeah. But I really don't see the end game in this. Like I don't like I'm very perplexed on like what they're gonna do next. Like you can finish the Justice League arc, which I would love them to do. That's what I want them to do is finish this arc. But how are you gonna do that? If you're gonna do a multiverse, that's just gonna confuse the fuck out of people because a casual person won't understand how a multiverse works. You're gonna have J.J. Abrams' DC reboot. Then you're going to have Matt Reeves' The Batman come out. And then you're going to have Justice League 2, Zack Snyder's version, with the same Wonder Woman, with the same Aquaman that you're going to have later on in the year. And you're going to have to explain that all this is a multiverse. Like, it's going to confuse people. So I really don't know where they're going to go. Like, they did paint themselves in the corner with this.
Mark, you asked a question.
Yeah.
You asked, am I going to choose Zack Snyder or JJ? Mm-hmm. There is an answer. It's JJ. I'm picking JJ 10 out of 10. I'm throwing all my chips to JJ Abrams. He this is what he does, bruh. Like, this is what the man does. You give him a property that has been so-so, and he's going to make billions of dollars from it. He did it with Mission Impossible. He did it with Star Wars. He did it with Star Trek. This is what the man does. I'm giving it to JJ. Now, what we do know is JJ gets tired. So, like, he going to need some help. I hope Ava DuVernay and whoever else he going to bring around helps him out. Because, like, this ain't no... I'm going to make 2 dope movies and then I'm going to let y'all figure it out type of thing. This is like I'm going to be here for 10 years and construct this universe for you. So, I mean, I hope he's in for the long call. I hope he's not just thinking he's going to make a Superman movie and that's going to be it. Like, it's a universe you got to help.
Well, the nature of his, just real quick about JJ Esco, the nature of his contract, I think with WB, I forget, there's a technical word for it. But basically, anything that comes through those doors, he gets to look at it first.
First look deal.
First look, yeah, he has a first look deal. So he's like, I want to do this. Bam. And if I don't know, Harry Potter Matrix crossover script comes through the door, JJ sees it first, he gets first dibs. That's how his deal works.
Mark, my mind's going crazy. Harry Potter Matrix?
Yeah.
How did that combination come to mind?
No, because they're both WB properties. I was just thinking of
But you ain't gonna just throw that out there and then just not allow us to chew on that a little bit.
That sounds amazing.
So, looking at J.J. Abrams' table right now, or plate, sorry, his plate right now. The only two confirmed DC movies that he is part of right now is the unnamed Superman project and the Justice League Dark miniseries on HBO Max. Everything else is its own entity.
I'm very excited for that.
So, I didn't know. No, the Star Trek is coming out too.
Well, they make money, but Esco, one thing that you said earlier, WB has a history of not trusting fans, right? Mm-hmm. When the Teen Titans cartoon came out, they wouldn't let them use any Batman villains because they thought fans would be confused, right? And then, do y'all remember that the Batman cartoon that came out? It was called The Batman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all remember that one? And it had a very like stylistic art style. Robin didn't show up to like season 4.
Yeah,
because WB thought fans would be confused that this is two different universes. Right? They're like, well, he's in the Teen Titans show. So how are they going to figure out that he's not the same Robin in this show? So like they have a history of not trusting their fans to get it. And you know, let's just say what it is. Marvel has shown that it trusts fans to get a hold of the material and follow it.
It's funny. It's funny they think that way when like you see Batman versus Superman and you see Man of Steel and you see, you know, these Snyder movies, and there's so much that needs to be implied already.
Oh yeah,
you know?
No, Zack Snyder trusts the fans, but Warner Brothers doesn't trust the fans. There's a very big difference. Zack Snyder trusts way too much, but Warner Brothers don't trust them at all. Yes, I agree with you, Esco.
Like, dude. What percentage of viewers would get the Adam reference?
Oh, the Ryan Choi?
Yeah.
I'm certain 30% have no idea who he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. I was thinking 30%.
I'm sure 30% are like, okay, like I'm glad we got some Asian representation here. Like, no, that's Ryan Choi. That's the Adam. He's Ant-Man of the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
The nanotech should have gave a good hint, but yeah.
No, but you know what? No, like at first I told Esco, I was like, yo, there's a nice little Easter egg in the beginning of this movie at Star Labs or whatever. And then like at the end of the movie, they like, in case you didn't get it, I'm Ryan Choi, the Atom. I study nanotechnology. See you guys in the next movie.
Yeah, man.
In case you didn't know, but this is kind of off topic, but I want to just ask you guys, why do you think DC can't break away from their big guns, right? How many Batman movies are there? How many Superman movies are we going to get? Like, what is it going to take? And maybe that's what it is going to take to like really freshen this thing up. Why can't DC give us some of their B-listers, their C-listers that have really interesting stories?
There's a couple of things that should just be known. And I hate to do it, but we always got to compare Marvel with DC. Marvel, the entire company made an executive decision when they came back for bankruptcy and created a universe called the Ultimate Universe. And that universe was the caveat of this. If we are going to make movies, we're going to create a universe that is going to straight up be like what the movies will be based off of. We're going to make it so that it can be cinematic. Like you can see this in a movie. And if you've ever read any Ultimates comic books, it is the MCU. And so like Kevin Feige has an easy ass job. Like, I mean, he doesn't, but he does. Because like all the source material can be made into movies, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's done some extravagant stuff when he did like the Guardians, but like outside of Guardians and some of the other things, everything else is the Ultimate Universe. DC has never made that choice as a comic book organization. Like They have revamped their entire universe over and over again to get their comic book readers to stay engaged in the comics and get more people engaged with the comics. But they've never said like, hey, we are going to either change our universe or create a universe strictly to get into movies and to like make our movies pop. So the problem that you have is that these executives don't speak comic book language. Let's just keep it what it is. Warner Brothers execs don't speak comic books. So they can't quickly see the dopeness in that comic and see how that can be told into a movie. They just can't do it. They suck at it. And like you're asking them to do something that like is hard in general, but they're not good at either. So I think that's what the issue is. Like they go back to Batman because Batman sells. The highest grossing comic books, if we're talking about 10 comic books, if it's DC's top 10 comic books, if it doesn't mention Gotham or Batman, it's typically not up there. Like Batman is the top selling comic books, period. And everything Batman related is the top selling comic books. So you're always going back to Batman because that's guaranteed money. Like you go back to Superman because he is the first, and arguably if you think about history, he is the greatest superhero of all time. So you're always going to go back to Superman, even though nobody knows how to tell his story right. And Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman. Like it's just you got the definition of superheroes there. It's kind of hard. It's hard not to go with it because it seems like a guarantee. So that's what I think.
Yeah, and I know it's a whole different like a whole different show, movie, or whatever. But I don't know. It makes me think of like Hamilton. Y'all saying Hamilton? Like you compare like Alexander Hamilton. I feel like is Marvel. Like it's like, hey, he's got nothing to lose, you know, this and that. Because like Marvel has already hit like rock bottom basically when they were, you know, going through their whole bankruptcy thing. Whereas WB is more like what's the dude?
Richard Burr.
Oh, Aaron Burr. Yeah.
Aaron Burr.
Like Aaron Burr, where they're like, you know, if you compare them, it's like one is playing to win, the other is playing not to lose. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I see Marvel.
Shannon, that was fantastic.
Yeah. Is your superpower analogies?
I think that's what it is.
No, man. But does anyone have any other like last little things they want to talk about with the movie or scenes or anything that they really liked?
Dude, the epilogue and that Joker shit, man. That was brilliant. And especially the fact they weren't even in the same room when they recorded it.
What?
Yeah. Jared Leto and Ben Affleck weren't in the same room.
Wow.
They did in two different locations.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
If you rewatch it's obvious. But like, dude, the energy, like the way they talk to each other, you could have sworn they're like face to face to each other.
Esco, I love that way that Joker monologue is filmed. When I forgot what is he holding, but
the card?
He's out of focus.
Yeah,
he's out of focus, but his hand is in focus. I just think that like the way that thing is filmed. You and I have both talked. We don't agree on a lot when it comes to these universes, but we both kind of didn't understand the hate about the Jared Leto Joker. I thought it was just a different interpretation. You know, I think we both felt the same way. Like, if the Joker was a mob boss, this is how he would act and look.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, Jared Leto kills that role. He kills that role. Like, I wouldn't say he's the best Joker, or he should be in a conversation as the best Joker, but he's far from the worst. Like, I didn't understand the hate. He did not take easy on that role. Like, he played the shit out of that role.
In fact, the issue is he should have been the main villain. That's the problem. He should have been the main villain in Suicide Squad.
David Ayer said that's his biggest regret.
That was the stupidest decision ever.
Yeah, he said that's his biggest regret.
You don't put Joker in a movie and have him being like in like 3 or 4 scenes and like be comic relief. Like what?
Yeah.
No, man. Like that was stupid. So I mean, no shade to Jared Leto, but like they used him wrong. And he shouldn't have a grill. Nah, I will never get down with that. There was no need for him to have a gangster grill.
Okay. All right. So here's one of the Easter eggs. Here's one of the Easter eggs. It's because Batman smashed his teeth in, and the grill is the missing pieces of the teeth that Batman smashed in.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
So look at that picture again, and you can see they're not like full silver teeth. It's like half tooth, half silver. It's because Batman punched him in the mouth.
Yeah, but like, it don't gotta be that deep. It don't gotta be that deep, bruh.
No, but it's so fun. Like that's so
cool,
fun
but it don't gotta be that deep.
You know what, Esco? I think you make a good point there. I think that's a lot of people's issues with Snyder movies. I think he gets lost in the details.
Yeah.
He clearly holds these characters to a high regard to the point where I don't think he wants to even relate to them. He just wants to like put them on a pedestal. And that cool, that's his vision. But like I don't think you always connect with people when you're just like, look how amazing this thing is. Don't you see? Do you not see? You know?
See, I look for him. Me personally, I look for these details, and I admire the details that he does. But I totally understand, like, a normal person doesn't look at the details, nor do they have the time or care as much to do it. And that's his fault. Like, he should know the casual person's not going to look at these details or even care about them. You know?
And it's also like, I've read 500 Batman comic books. If it ain't a direct representation from the comic book, and it's just some stuff that you think is cool in your, like, little world story, then, like, I'm working really hard. And some people, like Esco, would love to work that hard watching the movie, but I ain't trying to work that hard. There's already dope stuff in the comic books. Just pull from there.
You guys want to know another cool Easter egg?
Not really, but please continue.
Carrie is Batman in Batman vs Superman.
Who?
Carrie, the girl from Dark Knight Returns?
No, Carrie, the woman Robin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she talks to Lois.
No. She's in the nightmare sequence.
What?
Yeah. Very, very small Easter egg. See, that's what I'm saying. It's these little details, man. Yeah, she's in the nightmare sequence.
All right. You know what, Esco, you open the floodgates, right? Because Nels, okay, if he cares about this universe so much to put those details in, Nels, one of my biggest gripes with Snyder's decisions, how do you kill Doc Hammond in the very first
I was
Superman
hoping
movie?
we don't talk about this because we're talking about the Justice League.
No, but I'm saying if you're bringing up all these details that he cares about, dog, how do you kill Doc Hammond in the very first Superman movie? How do you kill Jimmy Olsen in the first 30 seconds of your other movie? Like, it's not just like Superman's paperboy. This is Jimmy Olsen. He's supposed to be one of Superman's best friend. And then Doc Hammond is pretty much Superman's Lucius Fox.
Pretty much. Yep.
And then he killed Mercy in Batman v Superman.
He did kill Mercy. Yep.
And I'm like, dude, these are like they're not the main characters, but these are like pieces, like very like notable pieces to these main characters' world, and you're just like, whatever,
Everybody
kill
gotta
him.
die.
And everyone gotta die. And I'm just blown
Yes.
away by that how he could put so much detail into his world, but then like just throw away like so many main things about these characters.
Yeah, I and you mentioned it, and we should wrap up, y'all. But you mentioned it. The Zack Snyder that we got in this movie is different than like what we've been recently getting from Zack Snyder. Like he's been going super dark in all those movies, but like this one, I felt like I was reading a comic book. Like I felt hope. I felt like it wasn't doom and gloom and dread the whole way through. Like I felt like the heroes could win, and like we could see another day. Like, which is not what I got from watching Batman v Superman. Even the Ultimate Edition, I was like, ooh, this is bad. And people are dying. And yeah, a lot of mass destruction. So.
Felt like they wanted to be heroes in this movie.
Yeah. I was just thinking that, I felt like so much of Superman before was like, I don't want to be this Superman. I don't want to. It's like, you're the symbol of hope. I guess I'll save the world.
He didn't ask to be the symbol of hope, you guys. He didn't ask to be the symbol of hope. So he can feel the way he wants.
But like, if you're the symbol of hope, please let me know why. Like, show me why you are. Like, I get if he doesn't want to be, but like, why are you? Because like, I didn't see how he says it.
Why am I? He's probably like, why am I?
No, Esco.
But we don't see.
I want to know why he is. I'm watching this movie. Show me why he's the symbol of hope. Oh my goodness. Anyways, y'all, the one last question we got, real quick, if and when you will let your child watch Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I feel like it's complicated because like who knows what this universe is going to be, like who knows what it's like, because I feel like you can't just show them this movie. You gotta show them Man of Steel, for better or for worse, and you gotta show them Batman v Superman. And I personally don't want to sit through Batman v Superman again if I don't have to. So I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's other incarnations of the League I'm going to show them. And, you know, if we get to this, we get to it. But it's like, I really don't know how to answer that question until we see how this is fleshed out.
Well, for me, it's whatever age I was thinking at first, it's going to be a little bit later now. Just because that ending, or like towards the end, like when they ended up cutting off Steppenwolf's head, I was like, oh, so we going that hard. So, you know, so that sort of bumped it up from from being like, okay, I'm gonna let you.
Fuck you, Joker.
Yeah. And then him, him and his dialogue with Joker, saying, "I'll effing kill you" or whatever. So, I don't know, whatever age. Let's say if I was thinking 7, I don't know, 9 or 10, maybe older. But yeah, getting Steppenwolf's head cut off makes me sort of bump the age up. So.
Yeah, I'm also the guy who my son has seen Black Panther about 5 times now. And he's watched all Back to the Futures. So he's seen the language. He's going to be a teenager when I show this to him. And like, to your point, Mark, I don't know what this universe will be. So like, it may be sooner, but like, I think the real question is, do I show him the original Justice League and show him this so he understands the zeitgeist around it all? Or am I just like, nah, that other Justice League no longer exists anymore and you're going to watch this? But yes, I will show this to my son. Because if he's going to wonder why I like Batman and why I like this universe when the MCU exists. And I think this will help explain a little bit like, no, this is a dope universe. They have dope characters and they have dope stories to tell. So I think this movie does that, and I would be glad to show it to him much, much later though, because the movie started off with a big old gashing hole in the chest of Superman. Not a way I want to start a movie for my kid.
Well, taking it from somebody who got Batman Returns for Christmas when he was 5 years old, I'll start as soon as possible. No. Honestly, me just think I don't have a child, obviously, but me just thinking that way, I would want to show this to my kid when they're more comprehending of storylines, more than action. So, like, for example, the only thing I could do is just think about me. So, like, I didn't, like, really get into storylines or, like, cinema, like following a story until really I was, like, 11 or 12. So I'm probably aiming at that age.
Makes sense.
And Nels, one thing that you said before we wrap up on how and, like, which one you're going to show your kid. Let's be real, fellas. The movie that's going to come out about this movie is going to be the really, really good movie.
Yeah.
The not the documentary, but like the kind of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie about the Snyder Cut movie is going to be really good. And that might dictate how and when you show your kid this movie.
Oh, yo. That's probably going to be what? Maybe 7 years from now? Maybe even sooner? 6 years from now? That's gonna be a dope movie.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a dope
series.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun movie.
Well, anything else, fellas, before we wrap up?
Yo, I just want to say I laughed so hard when Steppenwolf calls Apocalypse and he's like, "You owe the Dark One 50,000 more worlds." And Steppenwolf's face like, "Oh, for real? Like, seriously?" I thought he was gonna cry, dog. I paused the movie and laughed at that scene. That shit was so. I was like, I was like, damn, 50,000.
Yeah, that was steep. That was steep. I don't know what he did, but
I don't know what
he shouldn't have done it.
Especially to be like, bruh, I'm on this one world and I'm struggling. You mean I got 50,000 more? You say I'm struggling?
And all the planets got super people on there?
I'm calling you for help. You talk about 50,000 more.
Well,
funny.
And one other thing, how dope. I mean, they did a movie and mentioned anti-life equation. That is bananas to me. Yeah. I didn't think I'd ever see that happen. Just wanted to quickly mention that.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, too, I was like hoping they'll say the word boom tube, but they didn't. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. That was boom
Yo, Nels, since you're a comic book expert, are they implying that the Earth is an anti-life equation, or it's just on Earth?
That will take me having to explain what anti-life means. And anti-life is so complicated that the short answer is yes.
To both?
Yes to both.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that. Maybe another episode. Thanks for listening, everyone. This wraps up our episode on Zack Snyder's Justice League. We want to give a huge shout out to our guest host, Esco. Thank you for coming. Give you a round of applause. Yeah, Esco.
Thank you.
Yo,
thank you,
thank you, man. We kid, but thanks for being here.
And y'all didn't cuss each other out. I really appreciate y'all being mature. In this episode of Pop Culture.
No one sees the videos, but if you see the video, I gave some faces.
This is how you know you're dealing with two professionals here. I was expecting several cussing out moments, and neither happened. Kudos to y'all both. So y'all can expect a new episode every month. Please find us on all social media at PopCultParent, PopCultParent. Email us at popcultparent@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate us, review, and subscribe. And as always, join the cult. Peace.